Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Villegas. Welcome to the Fight Up TV live chat. Being joined with my co-host, one of our main guys over at Fight Up TV, Mr. Marcus Hayes, as we welcome you to the Fight Up TV live chat. Today's October 19th, and we're going to cover a lot of topics in this episode of the live chat, and of course, get to your comments, your chats. Go ahead and press like on this, please. Share and subscribe if you're not subscribe to the channel. Oh, Marcus, man, I think a lot has passed by. We weren't able to do a live chat last week. I had some personal issues that I had to go ahead and take care of as well. And of course, you know, the topic that I think that's still on the minds of people is the heavyweight fight that we witnessed 2 weeks ago with Tyson Fury knocking out Deontay Wilder in a freaking scintillating fight, man. Oh my God. Being there live, dude, like I thought I was walking on eggshells. Like I'm watching a fight and I think, okay, first knockdown happens in round 3, and I'm like, is this gonna go like the second fight? Like he Deontay already looks tired, you know, his legs look a little bit I don't want to say dead, but you know when a fighter's legs are almost gone, like they start getting like a little stiff, a little wobbly, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, it's going the same way, and then bank, round 4, falls down twice, not falls down, gets knocked down twice, and I'm just like, oh my God, what's gonna happen here? Like and everybody there on press row is thinking the same thing. And from that point on, I'm just like thinking in the back of my mind, is Wilder gonna touch this dude and he's going to go down again and he's not going to be able to get up? I have no idea how Fury's able to get up from these things, to be honest, from these knockdowns from Deontay Wilder. Jesus. You know, he just has a great chin. You know, one of the punches, I don't know if you noticed, Marcus, you probably did because you have a good eye. The first knockdown, you could see Tyson Fury sees the punch coming, but he knows it's too late. And he goes and he does this to try to get it on his forehead, and it still knocks him down.
Yeah. And then and on top of that, he eats the shot, bang, and for a second or two, he looked like he was saying to himself, okay, I got it. I got it. Oh shit, I don't got it. Like, where'd my feet go?
Yeah.
And you know, he went down, and he looked like when he went down and he realized, like, hey, I'm in a fight. And my brother always says, man, that one thing about Tyson Fury that's special, or that makes him special, is when he gets up off the deck, he is absolutely ready to scrap when he gets up. He is more dangerous after he gets knocked down than before. He's got that gypsy blood in him, man. And if you watch these guys box, this is no joke. They're used to getting rattled on the chin and getting up and coming back. Love it.
Yeah, Hurricane Hank says if you followed Fury's career early on, you know he has the ability to get back up from knockdowns and recover. But
Absolutely.
Look, bro, like
he did. He got up versus
wait.
He got up versus
he did.
Cunningham.
But there's a big difference between all those other guys he's fought and the power that Deontay Wilder has. Like, there's one thing to say, like, oh yeah, he can get up from all these other guys, but to get up from shots by Wilder, who a lot of people have said could be one of the biggest. No, he is one of the biggest, but could be, if not like the biggest puncher the heavyweight division has seen so far, is just, oh my God, it just still boggles my mind how he's able to take those punches. So that series happens, and I'm just, in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight anymore. And then I start thinking, okay, it's starting to look like the second fight again. Fury is imposing himself. He's being smart. And I kid you not, Marcus, here's the crazy thing too. So I want to say on, I think Wednesday, when they had the final press conference, I had a chance to go backstage and see some of the Fox guys. And I ran into Lennox Lewis. And me and him were talking about the Joshua Usyk fight and how he felt that Joshua didn't use his size in the fight. Like, he didn't understand why he didn't pressure Usyk. He didn't grab Usyk and smother him and use his weight to tire Usyk out, and why he didn't go to the body. And he was telling me, like, man, he told me a cool story which relates to this fight too. He told me, like, dude, this is Lennox Lewis telling me this. It's like, man, I've seen that style of Usyk before. It's super easy to figure it out. Thing is, Joshua has never gotten that sort of practice, that sort of sparring consistently for a long time to figure out that style. And he told me, where I got it from? And I'm like, from where? And he's like, from Klitschko, from the preparation from Klitschko and sparring with Klitschko. He's like, this dude used to smother me, and it was the frustratingest thing in the world. He would do he mimicked Usyk's stance. It's like, yeah, he had the same exact stance. He'd pull out his jab. Every time I'd come in, he'd come grab me and lay on me, and he'd use his weight against me. And Lennox would tell me, like, man, it was the most frustrating thing, because here's this guy that's a lot taller than me, a lot bigger than me, and now I'm having to work extra because he's pissing me off because he's on me, he's wrestling me. I want to get him off of me, and I'm going there trying to push him off, trying to use all this energy, and he's not even using a lot of energy. And he's like, by the end of it, I'm like dead tired. Now, this wasn't in reference to the fight. He mentioned it was reference in the sparring, because I know he had his fight with Vitali. Back, I think it was in the Staples Center, right? Right? It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was Staples Center.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation, all right, and then the fight's happening with Fury and Wilder, and that conversation that me and Lennox had came into my mind, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is exactly what Lennox was talking about. Fury gets stunned again. I would think in round 10, and then round 11, it just looked like, I don't know. Deontay looked like he was primed for a knockout in rounds 9, 10, and 11. Like, I think if Fury would have turned it up a little bit more, he probably maybe would have gotten him out of there a little bit earlier. But by round 11, he was donezo. Like, he was just fighting on pure heart, man. And I think that's the thing that I took away the most from this fight with Deontay, in terms of just him in specific, is I don't want to say for the first time, but I think he absolutely proved that when he's in the trenches, he has the ability to bite down on his mouthpiece, grit, and continue fighting. And he showed such tremendous heart, man. And it bleeds
about Wilder showed that. You're saying that Wilder showed that, man. Look,
no, hold on. I just want to leave it on this, because a lot of these fights, Wilder's been the one that's just been murking people. And then, he goes and he meets Fury, and he has this great trilogy with him. And it just showed, like, at the end of it all, he really does have a fighter's heart. Like, especially those two fights where, the second fight, he wasn't having his way, but he still kept in there. And then the third fight, where we thought he was out and he continued fighting. And that's what you want from your fighters. Okay. That's really what we want as from our fighters. But at what cost is that going to come for Wilder in terms of the future? He took a lot of damage, and it's not a shot at the corner, because I know the whole corner thing was a big thing to Wilder in the second fight. But I do feel that as a corner person, it doesn't, like, I understand they're hired by the fighter, and at times it might, because they want to stay in the good graces of the fighter, they want to stay employed. But I think at the end of the day, they need to look out for their guy in the corner, regardless of what they tell them. Regardless, like, it's like, bro, if I were to tell you, if you were cornering me, and if I were to tell you, under no circumstance you throw in the freaking towel, Marcus, I'm telling you, I would hope that you would know that I'm a prideful person, and you would think about my family, my kids, and think about, like, nah, dog, I'm not gonna put you in a situation where you're gonna end up brain dead or not be able to fight anymore. And I think that's the one thing that I kind of left thinking that situation was, did they allow him to take a little bit too much damage in the fight?
It's kind of funny, man, because I do think that he took an absorbent amount of damage in the last two fights with Tyson Fury. The thing that what I've noticed about Wilder, you go back to Ortiz, you said that he demonstrated a champion and a warrior's heart in this fight, but I beg to differ, man. I think that he's been showing that for quite a while. He showed it against Ortiz. He showed it against other guys when he had gotten himself in adversity. I think that he's a guy that just has a real big heart. I think what we end up watching him the other night what we saw was a fighter fighting with his soul, man. I'm serious. Knowing that he was outgunned, I think we also witnessed that how much Deontay Wilder loves and respects the sport of boxing. You got to respect the sport of boxing as a knockout artist to allow yourself to go out on your shield and give somebody else that moment to KO you. He could have found many ways to get out of the fight in between rounds, but he didn't. He chose to come out and say, hey, I got a puncher's chance. That's pretty much all I have left, but I'm going to throw. And he did, man. I mean, you look at it, Wilder, to be honest, man, Wilder threw 430 punches and he only landed 71 punches. Let that soak in. He threw 430 punches and he only landed 71. That's a 17% clip. Frustrated, can't begin to say what he could have had the right to display. He never showed a lot of frustration. He fought. He took a lot of punches. You look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury threw 327 and hit him 84 times at a 26% clip. It feels like it was more than that with the land on him, but it's sort of his vibe. When Wilder starts to get tired, he gets that look.
Yeah,
sort of
like he looks like he's discombobulated or something. Like his
right. But if you watch fighters, some of them have their own look. Like when Miguel Cotto starts to get tired or breaking down, his mouth starts to look funny, right? And he's that desperate, more desperate look. This is just something that is part of Wilder. When Wilder gets tired, if you go back watching him train with his coach toward the end of camp, he was doing the mitts, and the coach looks like he was pushing him past exhaustion. Had the exact same movements. I don't necessarily think that it was his brain. It's his body. It's his legs. He's tired. He was carrying all that extra weight. But make no mistake, man, he took a beating. Tyson Fury deserves respect. There was no gloves. Controversy. There was no nonsense, man. Tyson Fury put in work on Deontay Wilder from the first to the last round, man, and he is the WBC champion, rightfully so, period.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will share the sentiment here. He is the best heavyweight in the world right now, bar none. And that's the subject of this live chat, even though we are going to touch on a few other things as well. But man, we all know that wasn't the Tyson Fury of the second fight in terms of physical shape. He was in a lot better shape the second fight. This fight, he was a little flabby, but it also makes you wonder, like, Jesus, dude, like this guy's body type, like look at Fury's body type, dude. Like you look at this guy and you're like, oh, this guy looks like a normal guy. Like this guy can't fight. Like there's no way this guy's the heavyweight champion of the world. That guy's body type is made for fighting, man.
It's not beautiful to look at per se.
It reminds me of Daniel Cormier. You look at Daniel Cormier and you think like, oh, look at this guy. This guy can't do anything to me. He looks harmless, and then he starts just throwing haymakers and
you
suplexes on you.
You box, you trained. You understand what it means to have long legs and long arms. That's velocity. That's speed. That's dangerous if a guy knows how to keep you outside. If he's taller than you, I mean, you look at it, Fury is a classically trained boxer, regardless of what people don't like about him or look at his past. He's a classically trained boxer. You go back to the interview with Emanuel Stewart back in 2012 in Austria, where he told you outright, when Klitschko leaves, the division is going to be Tyson Fury's, and the other boy, Deontay Wilder's, got a chance too. And not to call him a boy, because he is definitely a man, but those are just the words of the late great Emanuel Stewart. But and they came to clash, and Wilder started later than Fury did. Fury has eons of experience past Wilder, and it shows, but no disrespect to Wilder. Wilder went out tough. Seriously.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see, like, also too, like how far Wilder's made it, given that he hasn't had that much time compared to all the other guys. I don't know. It's very rare to get to that elite level with one thing. Usually when you get to that elite level, the elite level guys are able to take that one thing away from you. But I think in Wilder's case, that one thing is so special that it kind of evens out the playing field, even though every other fighter that he's gone against technically has been better than him and has had more experience. than him. But given that, looking at the heavyweight landscape, man, I find it very difficult to find someone that could beat Tyson Fury. Like if you match him with Anthony Joshua, I think he's too mobile, too fluid for Joshua. We saw with Joshua's fight with Usyk. We saw a smaller guy in Usyk that doesn't have the punch of a typical heavyweight, almost stop Anthony Joshua in the last round, befuddle Anthony Joshua with his movements, with his feints, with his lateral movement as well. I just don't see it, with Joshua. Same with Usyk. You would say, Usyk maybe could give Tyson Fury problems, but I think the size is a big issue there.
I just don't think that AJ gives Fury much problems because AJ likes to stand out at distance and be exhausted and be willing to take shots. I think that he would seriously dot AJ up. I think that AJ would find himself being too slow versus Fury, and he would get picked apart. He would have a thrusting Mega Man jab that he's throwing, man. That's getting there every 6 months. He's got to let that thing look. Back to the drawing board on that, man. He's got to get more
connection issues there with Marcus.
Now, oh yeah, I'm tripping, bro.
There we go. Now we can, I guess, at least get it a little bit clearer. But I just don't. Yeah, you were lagging out. You're lagging out.
Oh man,
we missed a lot of that. Oh man, I think lag monster got you again, bro.
Yeah, man, the lag monster's getting me, dog. Yeah, I'm in a different location in this, so I probably need to find a different place for the next show. The Wi-Fi and this joint is. I got to talk to the owner of this establishment, man.
But I just can't see like anybody else being able to match the physicality of a Tyson Fury, given that he's so much bigger, so much longer, so much more fluid than every other fighter in the heavyweight division. Because you look at Joshua, you look at Usyk, you think like, okay, Fury would be the favorite there. Andy Ruiz, he'd be the clear favorite. Fury would against him. Who are some of the other guys? For some reason, Eddie Hearn keeps pushing this Dillian White against Tyson Fury. I don't really have interest in that. Old Povetkin knocked out Dillian White, and yeah, he did improve, but Povetkin didn't look the same in that rematch. It looked like he hadn't recovered from COVID yet. I think he's just trying to build up hype for his guy, and that's definitely what a promoter's supposed to do.
That's what his job is. Yeah,
and you start going on this side. Okay, Jared Anderson, who Tyson Fury says is going to be the next heavyweight champion. I think it's still too early for him to be placed in with a guy like a Tyson Fury. He's still learning. Let the kid learn and grow and flourish on his own time. When the flower is ready to open up its flowers, it'll let you open. Isn't that a line like that from the Three Amigos?
The type of movies you and Yair watch, bro. There, you could be watching anything at this point, bro. I'm not gonna bag on y'all on camera too hard, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't know.
What? You've never seen the Three Amigos with Martin Short and Steve Martin?
Yeah, I have, but I thought you was going in a different direction. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
No. Where'd you think I was going?
That's for another conversation.
Get your mind out the gutter, bro.
Yeah.
You've been going to DJ too much, Marcus.
Yeah, man, I'm on my way back too, man. Tell my folks I said what's good.
Oh no, TJ's gotten a hold of my man right here.
Yeah, man, I enjoy TJ.
But looking at it, it seems that if he can keep his mental game in check, this is the reign of Fury. This is the era of Fury, and it's a crazy thing because he ended the reign of Klitschko. Mm-hmm. No one picked him to beat Klitschko. And then, he has his problems with drugs and mental health. And then he comes back and he gets this. And during that time, Joshua and Wilder were largely responsible for making the heavyweight division exciting again. They're the reason why,
absolutely.
To be honest. And I think it's more Deontay Wilder, to be honest, because he was just brutally knocking people out.
Yes.
And that
Changing
really got
careers.
people, here in the United States hyped about
Absolutely.
him. And
For the
then
longest time, a 10-year reign. You got to remember, Deontay Wilder's heavyweight WBC heavyweight champ for 10 years, man. I mean, this isn't something that's little. The guy really was doing this thing for his time frame. I mean, everybody that jumped up got beat down for the most part. So you
got to look at the competition that he had.
I was about to say, somebody's going to talk about the competition, and I get it, right? I totally get it, but it is what it is, man.
No, it is. It's just it's a shame that we couldn't, and I still think we will, to be honest, because I still think it's a big fight. But damn, like I just wish that before all these losses happened to Joshua, happened to Wilder, we could have seen Wilder and Joshua when DAZN made that offer against to pit those guys against each other during that moment where they were at the highest of highs, where we thought like, oh man, we don't know what's going to happen. Now, like, I don't want to say it's a 50-50 fight. I still honestly favor stylistically Deontay over Joshua, just given that Joshua's not good with the punishment. It looks like he gets hurt and he can't take the shots as well as a Deontay, but that's why they fight the fights. JS, thank you for the super chat. Hey, you guys, if you want us to respond to you directly or right away, or just show your support overall, go ahead and use the super chat function on here. Make sure to go ahead and give us a round of likes and follow us on social media as well at Fight Hub TV. JS, what about Joe Joyce? He takes every shot and keeps coming forward. Not a pretty fighter, but keeps coming no matter what. It's unusual. Great chin, but I think Marcus, you got to go give him a new wardrobe styling, because that costume that he came out last time, I don't know, it looked like a walking penis.
Yeah, the Juggernaut head.
Yeah.
He broke the costume out a little early for the holiday. He broke his costume out about 2 or 3 months early, right? Man, I do like Joe Joyce, but I really think that Joe Joyce, there's other guys that Joe Joyce can fight. I think that Joe Joyce is one of the guys that Anderson, or like what's my guy that just won from, what do you call it? My guy that just won the other day. What's his name, bro? Ortiz, not Ortiz. The just beat a Jagba.
Oh,
right?
Frank.
He just
Frank
beat FA.
Frank Sanchez. Sorry,
Frank Sanchez, right? yeah, Frank Sanchez, right?
Frank
like
Sanchez.
He's in a class he's in a class to be fighting these guys. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think Joe Joyce versus Fury right now, Joe Joyce would look like Joet Gonzalez did the other night, heavyweight edition. I think that he would have a big old mark on that eye, bro. He would look like he made Daniel Dubois look. I just think that he lacks the head movement. He would eventually get chopped down in that fight. He's too slow.
Yeah,
it'd be a good fight for AJ though. Joyce and AJ would be a good fight.
That's a good fight. I still think Joe Joyce is gonna have a problem with fast guys because he's so slow. He's very predictable. Even though he is getting a little bit better, a little bit more fluid, like you mentioned, he still throws the punches way too predictably. He's still a little not as fluid as I'd like him to be, and he gets hit a lot still. So that's what we think about that. JS, thank you for the super chat, my man.
He gets hit a lot.
Yeah. So where does Wilder go from here? I know you asked me this, Marcus. I'm thinking maybe have a tune-up and then go right into the Joshua fight. Like you have to do the Joshua fight. Like, it's still a big fight. It's still an exciting fight. It still does big business. You got to go into it before one of these two guys goes into a fight and gets completely obliterated. Like, you don't want that to ruin this. Like, they already, they had their reasons as to why the fight didn't happen. Just get it done. That should be the next fight, I think, for him. What do you think?
You know what, man? I thought about a little map too. And before I get to that, let me get to my boy Batman Jr. Hey, what's the score to the Dodgers, homie? Somebody posted in the chat real quick. But on Wilder, as far as Wilder goes, man, I think Wilder's road is we got AJ. I think that's a great fight with AJ. But before he fights AJ, if they want to step him back a little bit, and this is no disrespect, both guys with PBC, I go call Charles Martin's people up and see what Charles Martin's got. I'm just saying, I'm talking about, if we're talking about getting Deontay back in and getting a little work in, I think Charles Martin has reinvented himself enough to where Deontay would have to work, I think, to KO him. Because
you're saying just in specific even though Charles is going to say, hey, man, I ain't no damn tune-up. He's
not a tune-up. But the thing is that if Charles Martin beats him, Charles Martin's definitely in the mix. Wilder's #1 in the WBC. But if we look at another fight, that was just another off-the-wall one.
I could see that as a return.
One of the last ones that I wrote down, man. The other ones that I got is I like Wilder versus Dillian White. It's a great promotion. Wilder versus Dillian White's a great promotion. There's a lot of animosity, that face-off's intense, and somebody goes to sleep on that night without question. Somebody gets knocked out that night. I think Wilder versus Andy Ruiz is a good fight also.
That's a tremendous fight. But
I was looking at Wilder. Look, let me set the stage for you, right? Wilder and Andy Ruiz at the Dignity Health Park. Man,
they would do that at Staples or like
or at Staples. But what I'm saying is a SoCal fight, SoCal fight. Andy Ruiz in the SoCal fight versus Deontay Wilder will be a great fight. Another outside fight that people might not think about is the WBA champion Trevor Bryant. Trevor Bryant has had the title for 200 something odd days, hadn't had a fight. I'd like to see the WBA champion, the regular champion, fight against Wilder. He called Wilder out about 4 or 5 months ago. I think that's somebody he's undefeated. He's a guy that Wilder could get in there and would have a good fight on. I think that Wilder still has. Bottom line is Wilder still has roads if he wants to fight. If he wants to continue to box, Wilder's got roads to go down. Man, Wilder can go left, right, or in the middle. Someone
mentioned Wilder Areola, bro.
They already fought.
Yeah, they fought in Birmingham, Alabama. Like
I think they were referencing the fight though, as far as like the punishment, maybe.
Or maybe I don't know, rematch. He's saying I don't think there should be a rematch. Wilder, thoroughly.
If we're talking rematch, if we're talking rematches, I want to see Areola and Andy again, man. I want to see double in shape Areola double down and fight Andy Ruiz again. I talked to Chris Areola, and he is pissed about the way things turned out, and he wouldn't mind fighting either Dillian, who already has a fight, or getting back in there against Ruiz again. And I think that he would come harder at Ruiz this time. He thinks he can knock Ruiz out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Man, I was really scared for Chris in that fight. I thought Andy was gonna just put like Honda, just bunches and bunches of punches. But Chris, one thing with Chris, man, he could dish it out, but he could also take it as well. And that's the one thing, man. Chris got a heart of a freaking warrior. Recapping the action that happened over the weekend. Huge upset, man. Mikey Garcia losing to unknown Sandor Martin of España in a fight that I think the DAZN people, I didn't quite agree with their assessment on the broadcast. They made it seem like it was a blowout, and I didn't think it was a blowout. I thought it was fairly competitive up until the last 2 rounds where I felt that Sandor Martin pulled it out. And I scored the fight 6-4.
Mm-hmm. I thought I was okay with, I thought that Mikey just looked sluggish, to be honest with you, man. Mikey looks sluggish. I know that Mikey notoriously starts late. I think that if he had maybe 2 more rounds at the championship distance, I think that he would. Oh man,
yeah, you saw that comment too.
SLJ said that Mikey is eating too many tacos, homie. Hey, he lives in Moreno Valley, homie. There's some good tacos over there, bro. So, my boy might be cuffing them tacos, Holmes. But all jokes aside, man, I just, you just wonder. They fought at what, a catch weight of like 145.5 or something like that, man. The thing that tripped me out about Mikey, man, is that though Mikey was more accurate, and that's the thing I think that you noticed about the fight. I think a lot of people noticed about the fight is that he definitely took the initiative when it came to landing the harder blows. I just think that he didn't take the plays when there was dead space. He gave up and he gave up more punches than we've seen him give up. Only second to Earl Spence Jr. That's a surprise against Sandor, and he got outboxed. I mean,
yeah. So there's two people there that said they saw it live, and they said
Manny
from
Simmons
seeing it live,
walking.
from seeing it live, that it was convincing. From TV, it looked like this to me, and I know how some of these judges score these fights. A lot of the times, the boxer that moves and throws touch punches, they don't get credit from the judges because the judges don't see those punches as effective punches being landed. Effective, when someone says effective punching, and even in the judging criteria, affecting punching means punches that do damage. So they look at the punches that Sandor Martin.
Homie.
They look at the punches that he lands, and they think like, oh, that wasn't too damaging. And then Mikey lands a big hook, a hook to the stomach. He landed, an uppercut here and there, and they think, oh, damn, okay. There's a lot of power. That's an effective punch.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, he made Mikey miss a lot. He had good defense. He blocked a lot of Mikey's punches, and Mikey just wasn't active enough. Like this guy just threw more, and because he threw more, he landed a lot more on him. I didn't think Mikey looked sluggish. I just think he had really trouble timing him and being able to land something on him, because he was really good with his waist movement. Was Sandor Martin.
Definitely. Sandor Martin in general was a lot more twitchy than Mikey Garcia. And I think that gave Mikey Garcia problems. In particular, Mikey Garcia looked like he wanted to work along the ropes. And
yeah, there was that's what I was thinking, because when he did have him against, one thing that I did like that Mikey did was he was, at some points, he was cutting the ring off very, very well. And I liked what he was doing. And then when he had him against the ropes, he was doing really well. And I thought, well, why did he stop doing that? Obviously, you had Sandor Martin that was catching him when he was coming on the inside with the
and he was getting caught with that lead check hook also.
Yeah.
And I think that changed his mind a couple of times. He ate a couple straight shots to the belly. He had a couple of turns, and no disrespect to saying belly, doggy. People are gonna be reading into that, but he just ate shots to the side of the head. And let me just clear that up. Mikey Garcia landed 47% of his power punches, but his total punches, he landed at a 19% clip, man. So that's just not gonna get it done at this level, period. You look at it and you just say that's pretty much what it is. Mikey Garcia's got to kind of make a decision at this point. What's he gonna do? You look at the last round in particular, that was the one that was bothersome to me as a guy that's watched pretty much every fight. And I see that Didi said that he lost his soul versus Spence.
But then Hank says here that he saw in an interview that Mikey wasn't really motivated for the fight. And I could see that. Who's Sandor Martin?
I mean, yeah, of course.
But the other thing is, like, did you see the purses? He's getting paid $1.5 million. That's gonna motivate me. But Mikey's probably made a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that Mikey's made a lot more. But the thing is, man, and see, when you start coming on and saying that stuff, I wasn't motivated and all that. Hey, it might be the door. Walk out of the door. If you're starting to say stuff like that and you're not really up for this and that, and it's a dangerous game, and the area that he's playing in right now is particularly hot, man. And it's that welterweight 140, that junior welter, that 35, 40, 47 region, man. You could get fried in the blink of an eye in any of those divisions. So Mikey's got some thoughts to do, some thinking to do.
Yeah, I don't think this sets him back too much. I think, they might think twice about a rematch, and maybe They think like stylistically, this is a bad matchup. There's
Maybe
nothing
that's
there.
what it is stylistically. But you know,
Yeah.
some of these young names that are calling his name, if you have problems with this guy, don't answer the phone when those other kids call.
But
Because
it could also be a realization too that something that has been echoed by his dad and his brother is they want him to move down to 140 pounds, where he is not at a naturally physical disadvantage against these bigger 147 pounders.
right.
So you know, maybe this will serve as a wake up call. Like, hey, you know, let's try going down to 140. Let's see, you know, how this works, how that looks. And I'm trying to think, you know, at 140, you got
I would like,
Regis.
hey, Regis Prograde,
Yeah, you
Mikey
got Regis.
Garcia. That's a good fight. He definitely has to fight a different fight versus Regis Prograde because the punches that he was getting hit with versus Sandor, he's gonna go to sleep versus Regis, no doubt. Regis
Regis is
punches
a big
real
puncher.
hard.
Yeah, he's
Regis
a
is a
big
huge puncher.
But I think like outside of Regis, like what else is at 140 that would, you know,
I
give
mean,
him a
naturally, you got
fight?
the big fish. That's Josh Taylor.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
think that they.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know
I don't
what?
think.
Stop right there. That's a perfect storyline because he beat his teammate. You know, he comes in. Thing is, doing business with Bob. Yeah, I know there's a lot of bad blood there between Bob and Mikey.
Yeah, I really don't. You know, I think that that's just that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
That's just throwing a name out there. I think that train is sailed too. That's not going to happen. You know, he just needs to. Yeah, I think moving down in weight is evident. To be honest, buckling down, and you know that's a difficult task for a guy that's getting older. That goes against the natural order of being a person that's getting older. That's tough, man. I don't think that you know, I like to see what they do with Mikey next because there's nothing easy in the region that he's in. Seriously.
Yeah, and
And
he
the
can't
fans
make.
aren't going to stand for it either. So
Oh, he can't make 135 anymore either. So you know, it's either you stay at 147 or you go down to 140. But you know, you look at the type of fights that Mikey wants to be in, and all the names that'll give him the type of fights that he wants are at 147. But then again, we go into the same thing like we were talking about. You know, he comes in at a
now you know
disadvantage against
that
these guys.
HDRO Ruse says Mikey versus Zepeda. Hey, that would be a good fight, and I think that's a
Yeah,
good
but
fight for
that's a
Zepeda.
good fight, but that's not a big fight.
That's not a big fight, right? And
Yeah,
I know that that's what Mikey's looking for.
yeah.
But you know, Mikey coming off of a loss, you don't really command a huge fight at this point. So and that's just what it is. And moreover, when you've got a hell of a name and you lose in this landscape of boxing, you fall down into the young lions. And I think it's pickings for some of those young lions from what he showed. You know, he may be forced into some of those type of fights. So
All right.
that loss meant something.
So Mikey Garcia dropping a decision over the weekend on DAZN against the Spaniard Sandor Martin, who I would expect is going to get a lot bigger fights in the future. And he throws his name now in the mix of a very competitive 147-pound division. Also over the weekend, we saw a heck of a firefight on ESPN. Emanuel El Vaquero Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. I was there live for this fight, man. This surprised me. I was not expecting this type of a fight. I felt that Navarrete would completely overwhelm and get Joet Gonzalez out of there. Even though, you know, his face looked like a pepperoni pizza, Joet, there was times where Joet, I felt, stunned Navarrete. And I kept thinking, if they're trying to push Navarrete towards an Oscar Valdez fight, Oscar Valdez can very well end up catching Navarrete with counters after counters because Navarrete just swings for the fences, man. He throws wide, but this dude Navarrete, though, he throws with everything, man. He's like nonstop, man. And his timing's like really awkward, too.
Yeah, Navarrete, man, is a real tough fighter, man. You talking about a guy that threw damn near 1,000 punches in the fight. I think he was something like 21 punches off or something like that. Dude threw like 979 punches, man. He landed 272 punches on Joet, man. And Joet is a tough dude. If you look at it, 3 fights in a row that he's taken some really, really tough fights. This is a tough guy, man. Joet needs to go to TJ and kick it, homie. He needs to leave Glendora and go to TJ and go chill, dog, because he's been putting in some serious work, man. He come up short in his second in a row world title challenge, man. I know that's got to be tough for him.
You can't pass up a title shot, you know.
You definitely can't pass up a title shot, man. But he's definitely he's a tough kid, man. He definitely showed that he's worthy of getting bigger fights. Definitely. I mean, his losses are to good guys. And I saw somebody in the chat say, and I wonder how does Navarrete stay at 126, dog? Come on. How is this dude? He weighed in at 125.5 or something like that, man. I mean, such a disciplined guy, and he is a whirlwind when it comes to throwing punches, dude.
This guy's like the Mexican Tasmanian devil. It's just
seriously. One thing out to me.
No, hold on. Like it's just funny because there was a series there in the fight where like he threw like a 7-punch combination, and I just started laughing because I'm like, what the hell? Like, where is this coming from this guy? You know, because like you think, okay, from like ringside, it looks like, oh my God, like you could see these punches coming. It looks so predictable. And then he'll do like this little lean over, and then bah, 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 bah. I don't know. It's awkward, but I don't know. It cracks me up seeing him throw so many punches like that.
Seriously, it's unbelievable to watch him fire off the way that he does. I mean, literally, he's throwing punches from everywhere. And they said on the broadcast, and I thought that it rang so true in the bout, he was hitting this dude everywhere. On his torso, on his stomach, on his arms, on the side of his head, on his face. He was banging Joet everywhere, and kudos to him, man, for not going out, because he took some shots and he gave some shots back. If you look at him, man, Joet Gonzalez, 667 punches thrown with 169 landed at a 25% clip, man, and he only landed 19 jabs, and he threw 100. Yeah. He only landed 19 jabs, 205 jabs.
Yeah, you know, it's the power of Navarrete, like being there ringside and listening when he landed his punches compared to Joet. Like it was just like, how is Joet still standing? Like how is he? And like at times he's like egging him on, like come on, and I'm like, bro, don't do that. You don't want him to come on. He'll keep coming. Navarrete is literally like a racehorse, where like you have to, like, he won't stop. He'll end up killing himself if he keeps going and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. It makes you wonder what's up with him at 26. And everybody is saying that nobody wants to fight Gary Russell Jr. I would love to see Navarrete and Gary Russell Jr. unify. That'd be great. I don't know if they would go that route. I know that he's real tough, but I would love it. Somebody, look, Arm said it right there, man. Hey, that's a good one. I would love to see that. I would love to see Navarrete against anybody. Doesn't matter whoever he fights. He's got a chance to beat.
I think they mentioned though that the next fight for him is going to be Valdez, but that means he's moving up a weight division. And maybe like you said about the weight, like how is this guy making 126?
Making 26, man. I mean, I wonder, like, I seriously wonder. He's making 26 and he doesn't look all emaciated when he weighs in. He doesn't look gaunt. You look at how Victor Ortiz looked the last time we saw him weighing in person. He looked like a stiff breeze would have blew his ass off the stage.
He looked bad.
Man, he looked, you know what I mean? He looked like, he needed to get showered with Pedialyte, dude. He looked like, you know what I mean? All respect to Victor because he's a nice guy, man.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't look like that when he gets on the scale. And he comes in, he looks full. He looks like, he's dangerous, man. He's a tough guy, but he does leave himself open as hell. That's true.
Oh, my goodness. The thing is, like, his timing's very awkward. Like, he does leave himself open. Joet caught him with a lot of punches, and I kept thinking back to how Oscar Valdez would match up with Navarrete, and I'm like, okay, right there, Oscar probably would have trying to throw him the hook or with the straight or try to do this, try to do that. But it's really the power that separates Navarrete between all these guys and the weird timing, the activity.
I was about to say, no, you need to say that. And I think that might be, if Valdez can't land a bomb. Valdez has already shown, and let's not forget, Valdez has had Valdez's past is checkered. And if he was using anything to enhance his stamina, he would need it versus Navarrete.
Hold up right there, Marcus. So with the result, yeah, with you're talking about with this last fight, yeah, but with the other fight with Burchell, they were under Vada, weren't they? I think they were under Vada, right? So he checked out for that.
Whatever it is, I know that I've seen him fight. I saw him fight a summer ago where he was exhausted and they were making fun of him in June before he fought Burchell in the bubble. In the bubble when he fought, I think it was one of his first. It was one of his first fights in the bubble. And afterward, they were kind of like, "Hey, this is not going to get it done versus Burchell." If you remember Andre Ward and everybody, and all of a sudden he came back with a stamina. Well, whatever it was.
We don't know. A lot of people.
I'm not accusing the guy, but if Navarrete is going to be on his ass the whole time, that's the bottom line. And if you can't knock him out, you're in trouble. Period.
Yeah.
Him and Valdez is easy to hit. Don't think Valdez isn't. I know Valdez made those moves versus my boy and, counter him. But, hey, he's been hit and he gets hit. He definitely gets hit.
That's very true. Valdez has been in a lot of wars.
Valdez is a warrior.
He's in a bigger weight. He's taking punches, you would think, by bigger guys at 130, but I really think that Navarrete's punch is I think Navarrete's punch is different. Like that, just being there ringside, it's different. I have no idea how Joet was able to withstand all that punishment. Man. The other crazy thing is I think his family was ringside, and I don't know if it was like his sister, his cousin, his aunt, I don't know who it was. They had a dog with them, like a French bulldog.
What was his name? Lola or something like that.
They showed it on camera?
The head. Yeah, they were showing the dog on camera. They kissing the dog upside the head. That was Joet's dog. French bulldog. I think the dog's name was Lola.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, poor dog, because it felt like they were squeezing the hell out of him.
Bro, but the dog looked like it was used to getting kissed and loved on, man. The dog was like, yeah, go ahead and kiss me on the head again, man. I mean, but like they said in the broadcast that the dog might not recognize Joet.
Oh no. Oh man.
Hey, like the dog might not recognize my dude, man, because his eye was just, hey, I wonder looks the day after. The week after. These are, hey, that's a hell of a price to pay, man. I'm sure the dog is laying on the foot of the bed looking at him like,
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I wonder what he did look like the day after. It's usually the day after that they look the worst.
Hey, that day after is when you rolled up good, boy.
Yeah.
That day after the fight, when you get up and go to the bathroom, you look at yourself like, oh, man, that happened. For some of us that aren't as gifted as others, right, that actually have to take punches to give them.
Here's the weird thing. I remember I talked to Robert Guerrero after his. No. I asked Robert Guerrero about. Dang it, which fight was he really lumped up on? Man. There was a fight where he had like a lump on him. I think it was. Let me look up his box rec. Hold on 1 second, because he told me. Because I asked him about it. I'm like, hey, bro, like, how long were you like swollen for in your face? And he's like, honestly, like a day. I'm like, what do you mean a day? He's like, yeah, like in 2 days, like it was like practically gone. I wasn't even really swollen anymore. And I was like, no way, dude. Like that looked really bad. And he's like, no, like I was fine. Let's see, it's Gerald Thomas.
Nobody face swelled up. Like, remember how Andre Berto's face was swelled up versus Guerrero?
Yeah, it was bad. I might have. Was he swelled up after the Figueroa fight? Robert Guerrero versus Figueroa. We don't have Yair. Yair's supposed to be our Jamie.
Yeah, you know what? I know. Yair, where are you, homie?
Yeah. Let me see. Did he get lumped up in that one? Maybe some people in the chat would know. But yeah, I remember he told me that it didn't take him very long to get back to normal. Because I always thought they're like done for like a week. I'm seeing Rolly.
You know, he had, if you remember, bro, he fought that dude. What was his name? Kamagi, Yoshiro Kamagi or whatever it was.
Kamagai.
Yeah, Kamagai. That cut on his left eye, right?
Was it Kamagai?
Was it his left eye? His eye was pretty messed up.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, might have been Kamagai. I was there at that fight too.
Yeah, Kamagai. I know Kamagai. His left eye was marked up pretty good. I should ask Robert's brother, man. Robert's brother and I talk from time to time. He's a good dude.
All right, now this weekend, Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson happening in Atlanta on ESPN. I spoke to Marcus about this fight. Marcus likes this fight a lot. He has a theory on this fight. I disagree. I think it might go a certain way, given Shakur's ability to take over a fight, to take away weapons from his opponents. But Marcus, let me in on why you feel this fight can end up being a potential firefight.
The reason I feel like this fight could be a potential firefight is because this is one of those fights where pride is on the line. It's about pride, bro. You got a youngster coming up in Shakur Stevens, who, if anybody has met Shakur or talked to Shakur, Shakur thinks he is the best fighter in the world. He thinks he's better than everybody else. And not just that, he belittles the weaknesses of his opponents a little bit verbally. I think that he's a dog. He's like Terrence Crawford. He's a tough guy. I think he thinks Jamel's a punk. He's been seen in public fronting on Jamel, yelling at Jamel, talking about next time I see you, you better have my belt. You better have my belt next time I see you. And Jamel is a classy guy. He's still waters. You don't know what a guy that's been to Fallujah has on the inside. Jamel Herring does not. Jamel Herring, like a lot of veterans, Jamel Herring doesn't need to walk around and beat his chest and do a whole bunch of talking, letting people know where I've been and who I believe that I am, because his pride is on the inside. It's already secured and locked away. Like they say in the military, lock it in a box. Jamel Herring's pride of being a Marine, a combat Marine, is locked in a box. He doesn't need to be boisterous. I think Shakur Stevens might be underestimating the willingness that Jamel is going to have to fight him. And let me make, if Jamel can't hurt Shakur, Jamel's going to get hurt. This isn't, I don't think that this is going to be a tuck, nip and tuck, nip and tuck. I think that both guys are going to put it on the line because it's more than just pride. Jamel's going to have to do something to make Shakur nip and tuck. I think he's going to come and he's going to try to walk him. I'm telling you, this isn't going to be poke, 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 poke. This is going to be, let's go.
Okay, so I think it's going to be more Shakur fighting his fight, pot shotting, Jamel trying to get in, pot shot, clinch to disrupt, his rhythm. That's Shakur's fight is to have the guys at his distance, like his comfort zone. He's so good at that. The other thing is, Shakur's very good at making his opponents miss and nullifying their offense. And I don't know. I just see it where like Shakur's stylistically can end up having his way where, he pot shots, hold, pushes, comes forward, that holds again. And Jamel's kind of like, oh crap, what the hell do I do?
Jamel not going to go out like that. Jamel's not coming to surrender the belt. That's the mindset when you think that when you think this guy's going to come in and just give it up. No,
I don't think he's going to give it up.
Coming to give this guy nothing.
I just think at a certain point it's going to be too, like, he's going to have to.
And if it gets to that point, Marcos, it's because Shakur has taken it from him. He's not going to surrender to the last round. Herring is going to be coming forward, and don't be shocked, man, if Herring humbles young Stevenson, dude. I'm serious. There's something about it. There's something about it. Don't be surprised if he knocks Stevenson down or something like that, puts him on his, hey man, listen, Stevenson could get cocky and get caught and get put on his butt. I'm not saying he might get KO'd, but anything can happen. I'm telling you, Jamel Herring has been through a lot, and since he's been with Bomac, he's been a different fighter. I talked to Bomac the other day also, and these guys are ready, period. They're ready.
No,
they know
they're
what
always
they
ready.
know the
They're
task.
always ready.
Hey, they know the task at hand. They know that this ain't a game. Bomac is like a hunter with a smile on his face. He's kind of walking around. He looks and you look at him and say, oh, he looks like a jolly old fella. Bomac is a combatant, and his guys react like he is a combatant. I mean, hey, camp over there. I know that they've been close and that they've been friends. I would not be surprised if that
Yeah,
is a great
hold
friend.
on
I
with
know
that.
everybody says
So
Maury.
I don't know much about that. Like I thought they were homies. Are they not homies? I thought they were
And
friends.
I think that's another thing that is maybe getting under Jamel's skin a little bit. The way that Shakur is now behaving toward him. It may be banter. It may be just to build up the fight, but him going on record and saying, hey, this dude ain't never been my friend. This
Yeah,
dude is
like
kind of like a fringe guy in the gym that I know. But if you look, he's taken before he was Shakur Stevens that we all know, Shakur Stevens that we all know and love. He was little Shakur at the gym, and you can tell that he was taking I'm taking a picture with Jamel Herring photograph. So, I think Jamel wants to remind him of those days too.
I thought they were friends, and I thought Shakur was training with all of them for like a while.
Shakur has been training with them for a long time.
Yeah.
There's business and there's something else, and I do think, man, I would hope that this is for banter for whatever it is, because I think that I don't know the two. Know the guys or anything. I don't know them well enough, I should say, to speak on their friendship or the level of their friendship. But if they had been friends,
yeah, I think
that's a cold way to fit you somebody is at a press conference.
I think sometimes fighters need something to, like, an extra motivation, like an extra thing to kind of like pump them up even more to take them past to the next level. And maybe that's that thing where he has to tell himself, like, you know what, I need to look at this guy as the enemy. Like, he's not my friend right now because, I'm about to fight him. And that's his way of compartmentalizing that aspect, unless he never really, cared too much about him to begin with.
Man, Shakur is primed and ready for a title run. I'm serious. So, I think Jamel will have to be his best to beat Shakur, to be honest with you, man. I just think that Shakur is gifted. I think that he's got the speed. He's got a couple things over him, but hey, we're going to find out whose heart's biggest. And I think that Jamel is going to step to him, vice versa.
I think Marcus is picking.
This is going to be a good fight. It's not going to be a snooze fest. Watch, it's not going to be a snooze fest, guys. Make sure you watch. It's not going to be a snooze fest. Moreover, he might win. You never know.
There you go. See, I knew it.
I
think Marcus is picking Herring to win.
You don't know. I'm not saying I'm picking Herring to win, bro. I'm picking Herring to stand up. I'm picking Herring to stand up and to force the young Shakur out of his comfort zone. And if Shakur is able to beat him, he would have taken it away from him, no question. That's a tough fight.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think, that it could end up being.
Manny Simmental is saying it right. Herring is a live dog, definitely. Herring is still waters, and they definitely run deep, bro. Ness Mendoza saying I got Herring on this one too. I think that you guys, that's not an outrageous bet, dog. It's not. Herring is definitely in this fight.
Is there what are the odds on that?
You know what, man? That's a good question. I wonder what they are right now. I'm sure that probably Shakur is leading the odds right now.
You should know, bro. You should know because you're picking Herring to win.
I ain't picking Herring to win, bro. I'm just saying. It's not going to be a cakewalk. People think it's going to be a cakewalk. It's not a cakewalk. Look, this is not going to be a cakewalk, bro. You're going to have to see about Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring is a prideful dude. Especially, the only thing that worries me about Jamel, to be honest, is the fight, I think 2 fights ago when he hurt his eye during the fight, kind of some of the body language and behavior. That guy cannot show up versus Shakur Stevens. That Jamel Herring that fought, I can't remember who the dude was that he fought, but if you remember, he was in deep. He dropped the guy with a nice, beautiful counter left, but the guy comes back and is really putting in work on Jamel. It ended up stopping by some type of the hit on the eye where they remember, Marcos, they said that it was a DQ and then they gave it to Jamel.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was
a
a
no contest or something. They gave it to
yeah,
Jamel. That's the
yeah.
fight I'm talking about, man. Be careful. If that Jamel shows up, he ain't gonna beat Shakur. He didn't want
Well,
it that
we'll
night. It
see.
didn't
We'll
look
see
like
what
it.
happens. They fight this weekend. Marcus feels that it's gonna be a barn burn of a fight where Herring has to go and bully or impose himself, make him know like, hey, I'm the freaking man here, not you. Like you're still a little kid compared to me. So I definitely see what you're talking about in terms of fighting for pride, like you mentioned at the very beginning. I quickly want to touch on something that I saw earlier, and we didn't even write it out on this, but it's looking like Jake Paul's going to fight Tommy Fury in December in Miami. I uh, I think uh, I don't know, man. Covering Jake Paul fights are cool because he brings in a just dope atmosphere, man. Like the atmosphere at the last two fights that he's had has been really, really like refreshing. Like that's a cool atmosphere, especially the one in Cleveland. But man, like Tommy Fury got a
Right.
lot of
Beautiful.
growing to do still, man. A lot of learning, man. Because that last fight that he had with Anthony Taylor, it did not impress me.
That ain't gonna happen. I don't. Tommy Fury. I don't know, man. I got Tommy Fury confused with Huey Fury.
Why are you confusing the two? That's completely different.
Hey, he's not Huey Fury. Tommy Fury is clearly he's the least talented Fury, right? He's Reby Jackson. If there was Jacksons,
Oh,
he's Reby Jackson. I'm just saying, look, man.
you
I
can't
don't
even give him the
look.
respect to call him Tito.
Look, man. Well, look, Tito got the hair, dog. Tito still has 4-inch wave, 4-inch thick lateral waves on the side of his head, dog.
Yeah, look at Tommy.
That's some
Tommy's
gorilla glue or some
the
shit. I
body
don't
of an
know.
Adonis, man. Look Tommy.
Yeah, I mean,
Genetically speaking, is a very handsome guy. No homo.
man, what? Wait a minute, homie. Like my boys are saying, my sons are saying pause right now, not no bromo. They're saying I'm gonna have to hit you with the pause right quick, homie. You got to
All right,
pause on that,
pause.
my guy. Yeah,
I said
pause.
no homo. I said
I
no
won't
homo.
say I won't say that he's gorgeous or nothing like that. I
He's a
don't.
good-looking dude. Let's be frank. He is a good-looking guy. He looks nothing like his brother Tyson Fury or the other one or Shane Fury. Like it just makes you wonder, like, what the heck? How are these guys brothers? For reals, how are they brothers? They look nothing alike.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, dude. I think that uh, depends on how he's working, bro. Because if he ain't working, man, you might get clipped by Jake. Seriously, if you ain't working, if you're over there kicking it and being cute and all that, and hanging out at the beach and whatnot, bro, you don't fight well enough to be a YouTube fighter. Put it that way. You don't box well enough yet to be a YouTube boxer. You got to be a real boxer. So if he's going the YouTube boxer route, I don't know about
Man, imagine the
him,
pressure
man.
on this kid.
Seriously,
Poor
I don't know
guy.
about I don't know about him beating Jake.
He has so much pressure on him. You have your older brother saying in interviews, "We are disowning you. You're not worthy of the Fury name if you lose this fight." Oh my god.
But are they going to fight though, or is it just something that you just
No,
said?
this
Hey,
I saw a
maybe.
report from the Daily Mail that it's December 18th in Miami. It's happening.
Oh, good night.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, oh no. Okay, well, hey. Like he better be training. He better be out there with them gypsies fighting on the streets, man. Fighting them, dude. These gypsies, bro, be fighting in a wet parking lot in the drizzle with the hands wrapped. And I'm talking about fighting with skill and intelligence. I'm not talking about fighting looking like some backyard brawl, the one where they be fighting with the dirt kicking all up. I'm gonna be fighting with hay flying all around and stuff. I ain't talking about that, dog. Other channels, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about these gypsies, bro, be out there scrapping in the rain, homie, and landing 2-3-2 combinations, going to the body like with no mouthpiece. It's impressive. Some of these dudes would come over here right now and put some work in on some of these
Oh
Americans.
no,
Man,
yeah, these guys will fight
this is a
anytime.
different game. If you haven't watched it, man, pull it up on YouTube. The Gypsy boxing, it's impressive, man. They love boxing, dude, and The way that they fight, it looks in the blood. It doesn't look like somebody. My boy Raider says street beefs. You know, I love street beefs, man, but they got the hate kicking up sometimes. Like you might test those fighting or something. You might breathe up a cattail or something in your lung and get sick and die. I don't know.
It's a different mentality that they have over there, especially that because the fighting's in their culture, and doing that is in their culture. So it's a
and to be the Gypsy champion means something, bro.
Yeah, it does.
To be the champion means something. They you know that they look like they got some serious boxing prowess.
What I don't understand. So they have this bare knuckle boxing thing going on now, okay? And you know the travelers are so synonymous with bare knuckle boxing, and it just you know, I want to know like what's going on there. Why aren't they entering like the bare knuckle boxing? I don't know if like they feel like it's beneath them, like there's not enough money there for them. They don't, because you know they're with their own. They deal with it with on their own thing. But I'd love to see some of those guys in the bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, no
I think the bare knuckle boxing is highly entertaining. I love watching the bare knuckle, the BKFC fights. I love it, dude.
We need to start going to those fights too, dog. We need to get to the bare knuckle scraps, homie. This is Fight Hub. Bare knuckle crew, hit us up, man. We need to start coming and check y'all out, doggy. I'm serious as hell. We need to start covering y'all's events. You guys would benefit from that greatly, dog. Let's go.
All right, so we recapped the fight that's happening this weekend, but we have a special guest. This young gentleman is actually fighting this weekend on that Herring versus Stevenson card. Please, everybody, welcome to the live chat, Haven Brady Jr., who fights this weekend. Haven, how are you, my man?
I'm good. How about you? Glad to be here.
We're great, man. Thank you so much for joining us. You're fighting this weekend. I know you're a young pro. You're still making your way up into the ranks. I believe this is going to be your third or your fourth fight?
My fourth fight. Now.
So all KOs too.
Yeah, let us know, man. What's up with this fight this weekend? Can you hear us, Haven?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man. So what's up with this fight this weekend, man? What can you tell us about it?
It's a great fight in Atlanta, Georgia. My home state. Excited with my fourth fight. Glad to be on ESPN, and I got an undefeated opponent. I'm just ready to showcase some great skills.
Now, Ryan, who handles a lot of your PR, he sent me a photo of you flexing, and he told me like this guy's a featherweight, and I'm like, there's no way this dude's a featherweight. What in the hell? You are big for this division, dude. Like, what in the heck?
Right, I am. I get that all the time.
Yeah, dude, Marcus, this guy, gun show, bro. Gun show.
Boy, hey, you know why, man? Hey, tell him, boy. Hey, tell you from Georgia, boy. That's why.
Right. That's
from Albany, Georgia, ain't you?
That's country strength.
Yeah, that's that cock strong, boy. That's that cock strong. Man. I see you. What's up with it, boy? How you doing?
I'm good. A lot of people don't know about that right there.
Yeah, man. That's that Shannon Sharp, man. That's that Club Shay Shay, man. Show us the guns, bro. What's up with it?
Yes, sir. Just a little something, son.
Yeah, a little something. Yeah, man. Got the peak in the head on there. Look, boy,
bro, how much do you weigh like when you're not like cutting for a fight?
I walk around probably in the 140s.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Then as a weight cut, man, you got like no fat on you though. That's crazy to me.
Right, I'll be low on fat.
So you know, Ryan described you to me as like a boxer puncher. You won the you were ranked actually in 2019 number 1 ranked boxer in the nation. 2019 Western qualifier runner up. 2019 national PAL champ. 2019 Eastern qualifier champ. 2019 Junior Olympic gold medalist. You know, a lot of eyes on you, but for those that aren't familiar with you and your style and how you fight, what would you tell them?
I say I got tremendous strength. And I'm a boxer puncher. I box you, and then you never know when that one punch gonna come. It could be coming any time. But I like to box and break my opponent down to the body and just have my way.
Yeah, you're from Augusta, Georgia. your teammates with some of the
Albany.
Olympians, right?
Albany.
Yes,
Albany,
correct.
my bad, Albany. Now, how's it like sharing some time with Conwell and Isaiah?
Oh, it's a great experience. We all work together and all push each other to be the best we can be.
Good stuff. Good stuff. With this event, we were just talking about the Herring versus Shakur fight. How do you see the fight, Haven? Like, do you think it tilts one way or the other to Herring or to Shakur? Like, I just want to pick your brain on that. How do you see it?
I think it's gonna be a great fight. Honestly, with Secure being the younger gun, and I think more on the likely on the skill side, but I think Jamal more on the older and more experienced. I kind of give it like an even match. I'll probably get ahead to the Secure, but I don't want to doubt Jamal Herring either. So if I had a bet on, I don't know how I play it, but I think it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, Marcus spent the last 30 minutes just yelling at me saying that it's a 50-50 fight, and don't be surprised if Herring wins.
And
Right.
also,
I'm telling people,
and
Secure.
also,
I
I'm
guess
telling you, say one more time. I'm sorry.
I know they was in the same camp for a long time. They know a lot of the same stablemate. So I'm guessing they probably seen each other spar all the time, and they probably spar. So they you know, know who gonna win or how they'll do against each other. But I mean, it's boxing. You never know. It don't take but one punch. So
No question. And what do you think about the saying that this fight is going to be boring just based on the past? Kind of a lot of people are down on Shakur based on his last performance. What do you have to say to those people? What would you say to those people to make them watch the fight?
with them knowing each other, and I think with Secure trying to get the belt from Jamal, and Jamal trying to prove yourself that that I ain't just no slouch. I think it'll be a very competitive fight, and also with Secure last performance, a lot of people saying it's boring. I think he gonna try to bring a little bit more to the table, a little bit more. He gonna try to push the issue because I mean, nobody don't want to get booed or get talked about, and a lot of people was on him about his last fight. And I think Jamal, he just trying to prove something. He said he want to be the first one to give Secure his first loss. So
Yeah, that's a good point that he brings up. This man right here, Haven Brady Jr., fighting this weekend on that Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring fight. You're going up against an undefeated fighter named Roberto Negrete. What do you know about him, and what do you expect from the fight?
I watched him a couple times. I just know he just started training with Robert Garcia crew. I really don't know too much about him. I think I seen one of his fight, but I'm just gonna be prepared and be mentally and physically ready for anything that he brings to the ring, and just come on top of my A game, come on top of my A game, and let him adjust to me.
Mm. Do you see openings there to counter him a lot? Robert Garcia fighters are usually known to be one in shape. They come ready to fight, but also very good pressure fighters as well.
All right. So I mean, from a boxer, that's the easiest fight. I mean, he coming to you. All you gotta do is just be in shape and just pick him apart, slow him down to the body, and then everything else will fall in line.
Mm. Mm. You,
You sound like you know what's
I know.
going on.
Yeah, I'm like, you expecting a stoppage in this or what, bro?
Ha! I mean, I don't get paid for overtime. There ain't no wrong with get him out of here.
Mm,
4-0,
mm.
4-0, 4 KOs. It sounds good.
Okay, man.
Haven,
Another. You're fighting another undefeated guy, though, aren't you?
yeah, this guy's undefeated.
So this
Yes,
guy doesn't. This guy's
we
not
same
coming to
fight,
give up
3
any.
and 0.
You're gonna have to take his. Right now, it's 3-0 versus 3-0, and somebody's life is getting ready to change. Like they said on the Titanic movie, somebody's life is getting ready to change right now, man. How ready are you for that?
Right. I'm great. I'm ready. I can't be more ready than what I am. I'm mentally and physically prepared, and I think it's a great test. I always perform good under the lights. I think with a better opponent that I'm provided with, the more skills and things I get to show in my bag.
Hey, were you playing Dragon Ball in the background? Did I hear that? Did I hear the Ultra Instinct theme playing? No, okay. I could have swore I heard the Ultra Instinct theme.
That's what my team.
I was right there.
But I'm
yeah,
not a gamer. Okay.
Hey man, I love Dragon Ball.
Oh, but you heard the game for real though. Game up, huh?
They playing some game in there.
Okay. Well, good stuff, Haven. Hey man, we wish you luck in the fight. This man right here, 3-0, 3 KOs, looking for the fourth win and the fourth knockout consecutively in his career. He fights this weekend on the ESPN card featuring Jamel Herring.
Hey, who are you promoted by the way?
I'm promoted by Top Rank.
Outstanding.
Top ranked fighter. Keep your eye on
top ranked fighter, young top ranked fighter, man. Good luck to you. We look forward to seeing you on TV, man.
Thank you. Tune in. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right, that was the undefeated Haven Brady Jr.
Hey, I just hit you up on IG, man.
Appreciate that. All right, you guys, it's time to end the live chat. It's been a good hour and a half chatting with you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday at 5:35, same time, same place, as we will preview. I don't know. What do you want to preview? What's going on? Oh yeah, Wallen versus White is happening next week, and then we'll talk a little bit of Tank versus Rolando Romero as well. But for Marcus and myself, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's get one last round of likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tune in with us next Tuesday for the Fight Up TV live chat at 5:35. Thank you guys so much for watching, and look out for the content and the videos that we'll be posting up this week as well. We got a lot of good stuff coming your way. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody. Be well and have a great rest of your